Hey, I will show you something really smart. Everyone that has left a diesel can or a gas can in the sun knows that it bulges out because of the internal pressure in the sun. I'll show you something really smart. A very smart inventor in California invented this gas can to help the environment. These cans are pre-built so that they can actually handle the internal pressures. They have some extra room. So they actually are 5-gallon cans, but based on how they're built, they take only 3 gallons right now. It's very smart. So you can put them in the sun as much as you want and it doesn't matter. They will totally handle the pressure. Nah, that's what happens when you drive on your diesel cans when they are under the snow and you have an excavator on top. So that's what happens. So I need to put some fuel in them, leave them actually in the sun so they can expand and make sure the lids are on tight. That's difficult with these dumb spouts, probably invented by someone in California. But anyway, no offense to the people in California, but a lot of very not smart ideas come from there. I have a couple of other diesel cans that actually did not make it. So during the winter I was thinking, where in the world did I put my diesel cans? Could not find them anywhere. And when the snow melted, oops, that's where they were. Okay, I have had it. So I tried to fix the four-wheeler and I could not get the broken bolt out no matter what I tried. So I got empty of words that were biblical and started looking for other words, and then it's time to stop and switch project. So right now I am trying to weld these on. So the shanks are really worn. So I had this tooth here was actually here, and this is the fourth tooth. I could not find any other ones. You can see this is what happens with a tooth from an excavator when it digs miles of road in the mountains with rocks. And this shank here is totally worn. So somehow I'm going to see if I can put some rebar in here, maybe here, I don't know, at least here on each side, because that's usually where they're locked anyway. And then weld that in place, and then also weld around here on both sides. And by the way, if you're interested in a truckload of biting flies, I will ship them to you for free. I am kind of ticked off because of all the crap that's going on, so I really don't care. I'm doing the redneck version and just try to weld it on. I really don't care at this point. The bucket is almost destroyed anyway, and these biting flies drive me nuts. So it's time to get them fastened and do some work with them. Hey there again. It has been a week or so since I had my bad day with my ATV and my welding on my bucket last time. And not only did I have the issues that you saw, but my welder was just spewing out wire, MIG welder, but then it was suddenly stopped because there was no wire left. So I had to move the excavator to a different place, and then when I brought it back again, I only had wire enough to just do a tiny bit here and some on the other side. On this one tooth, that's all I had wire for, and it loosened again. So I have an issue, I think, getting enough heat. So I will see what happens today. I have a lot of wire now. We got last week or during the week. We'll see how it goes today. And I'm so far in a lot better mood than last time. And I'm all ready to do some welding. Gloves are in place and helmet in place, and grounded the bucket. It's so much easier to ground this bucket because it's just all metal with nothing, no paint or anything on it. So we'll see what happens. And my Lincoln Electric 180. So I cranked up the heat a bit more than last time I used it. Hopefully that will help. But one thing that you have to remember, at least I have to think about it, because we are living at actually 8,700 feet elevation, and even if my generator can produce like 30 amp, and it's this is a Champion 9200 peak watt and 7200 running watts. Since we are at such a low altitude, the amount of power that the generator can produce drastically and decreases for each 1,000 feet. I've forgotten the factor. I will see if I can find it and put it as a comment. But so this, even if it's 7200 running watts, it cannot produce that much since we are at 8,700 feet elevation. Just something to think about. That might be one of the reasons why I cannot get enough heat with this welder. So I have an AC 225 Lincoln arc welder as well, but right now my largest generator that can produce 50 amp is out of function. It doesn't work right now, so I will have to do with what I have. I'm definitely not a welder, just a very amateur one. But it did go better at the end though, because one of the hardest things here is I cannot get the bucket further away from the machine if I want the bucket to be in this angle. So it's like total pain to have to stretch out my arms. I don't feel I have a good position when I weld, but you can see the first, if it's not too light, the first weld I did looks really crappy. The second one is actually welded more up under, so it doesn't look like it is much, but then I'm starting to be able to move like you're supposed to, like this, or in circles. So I guess I'm a little bit impatient, so the metal doesn't melt enough before I go further ahead. So, but the last one didn't look that bad. Well, I guess my artwork is done. Better send it to Louvre. in Paris. Yeah. But it's amazing how it's really sunny here, so it's amazing how much difference it is when you actually have decent position to work in. I think this weld here, I'm really happy with that one. Actually doesn't look that bad. I was able to weld like I think it was supposed to be welded, because I actually had a very good position to stand in and work in. But so let's see how many minutes they last. Hopefully they'll last a bit. Hey, TJ again. It's amazing how much you can learn when you have a homestead and you have all these things you have to try to fix yourself. Like my bucket. Last weekend, I actually welded some teeth on, but I had a tooth come loose. The one that used to be here. And I think I'm starting to understand a little bit more about welding. I think a lot of my issues actually has been being impatient, and I'm a very impatient person. So you can see here, I have been able to dip more into the metal of the bucket itself this time. I think last time, yes, I did the circular or wavy movements, but it didn't really bind properly with the bucket. Now this time I actually think it did. So this one here actually is still hot. Now this one actually was hanging on from last time. It started to crack a little bit here, but I did some more welding on it. So this one is just a piece of junk. It is so worn out from before, it has a hole on it. But this actually stayed on. Now this tooth here, as you can see, probably you understand that the green teeth here are actually new teeth. We got 2 new teeth for it. So the tooth that used to be here, I lost somewhere in the brush, or I have no clue where it went. And it is like several feet of brush and trees and stuff, so it's impossible to use metal detector like I usually do. But this time it was not possible. So I was thinking I should drill holes through the tooth, through the shank, and out on the other side and put a bolt in between. But of course, both the bucket and the teeth is pretty hard metal, so it will take hours and hours. So I figured out that by adjusting my grounding and stuff, that I actually can get more heat so that it melts better. So hopefully this will do well. And I don't think I care about the split in my bucket. I don't know if I can really fix it anyway. Like last weekend, I moved I moved a boulder that was about the size of a little car. So this bucket is really having a lot of challenges, so I don't know how much I can actually have this not crack. So maybe I can take my welder again, we'll see. Okay, I ran out of wire, but I fixed most of the crack in my bucket as well. And you can see here the difference between the weld I did last time and the welds I'm doing today. They're a lot wider and thicker, and I can see that the metal is actually melting properly. I think last time it was just the wire almost that just melted, and that was it. But now I actually think I made real connections, so that's Good thing about homesteading, you learn all these things that you didn't know before, and I love it. Okay, now I need to go to work.